Welcome back everyone to another market review, and today we're going to be reviewing the Japanese yen dollar for the ICT silver bullet from 10 to 11 a.m. And I'm also going to be reviewing the final hour macro to show you guys how really on Mondays where the US equities are just opening back up, you're not going to see the greatest price action. I highly recommend you guys check out the currencies on these days, especially Japanese yen dollar, as it's a little bit cleaner and it's going to provide for more volatile setups. Something else to note, I did send this in my Discord. Again, it's a free Discord. The link is going to be in the description, and let's hop right into the review. So here we are on the daily chart. I didn't really see anything on the daily chart in particular, so we're going to jump right into the 1 hour, show you guys how I framed a long setup. So here we are on the 1 hour chart, and the only thing I saw was how we had a 1 hour bullish order block right in here. In addition, I always talk about how if you utilize the midnight open with the opening hour that you're trading, it's going to give you a better gauge as to whether price is in a premium or a discount. In this case, I call this a double discount as we are below the midnight opening price and the 10 a.m. opening price. So the only thing I was looking for was to be long during that ICT silver bullet model. And here we are on the 15-minute chart here. And from the looks of it here, we had this bearish order block that we saw price trade up into. My main goal was to get to the consequent encroachment of this target up here, but it looks like we fell short of it. But we also had a 15-minute BISI right in here. We see price respect the consequent encroachment of it, as well as the 1 hour order block. I'm also going to be talking about the final hour macro, and look at how the bodies are respecting this 1 hour bullish order block as well. So here we are on the 1 minute chart. And in terms of how you could frame a setup going into this, really a big thing to know with these currencies is the time, just like NASDAQ. Right here on this candle, that 950 to 1010 macro, it closes right here. Look at how you have a low resistance liquidity environment and price trades right back right on that macro close. And framing a setup here, the first thing we have is a bullish breaker as you have a low, high, lower low, higher high. And I always talk about how if you're looking for bullish order flow, you want to see breakaway gaps. If you guys draw out the consequent encroachment of this BISI right here, look at how price respects the middle of that. This wick right here trades right into the 50% and it doesn't trade below it. That's what you want to see. We see price trade up, bullish order block right in here. We tap right into this, and also respecting that consequent encroachment of the breaker that we mentioned earlier. And again, like I mentioned earlier, we are below the 10 a.m. opening price and the minute opening price. So really any buys down here are going to be in a really deep discount as well. We see price trade up, leaving another breakaway gap, and then we leave another bullish order block here. We see price trade into it, and then we trade back up higher, tapping into that larger 15-minute bearish order block. Now, we did fall short of my main target up here, but again, it was expected, as really Monday, the market is just beginning to open back up. Usually from Tuesday to Friday, we're going to see a little bit better price action. But on days where, if it is Monday, for example, or a Friday, you may want to be trading currencies or something else other than the NASDAQ or the S&P 500. And reviewing the final hour macro, which we see down here, really we had these equal lows and these equal highs here. I like this little consolidation we have. We see price first take sell stops below these lows, creating a low resistance liquidity environment, and we leave these equal highs intact. And remember that final hour macro is just hunting liquidity that's left on the table. And as we can see here, the only real liquidity left are these equal highs up here, which we see price tag into right around just before 5 p.m. And again, the process is going to always repeat. You want to mark out that 3 p.m. opening price because, again, in particular to the trading session that you're trading, you want to utilize the opening hour of that particular session, as this will give you a better idea to whether you're in a premium or discount. But analyzing this final hour macro, the first thing is we violate the bearish PD arrays. We also have this inverted fair value gap. You draw that out. And we have this larger fair value gap. Look at how price respects the consequent encroachment of that. That's what you want to see. We see price trade up, leaving breakaway gaps behind. Again, if you're looking for bullish order flow, why would you want to see these get traded back to? You're not looking for that. You want to see this bullish order block right here really keep price afloat and not get below this swing low right here. We see price displace up one more time, and then we trade back into this larger BISI, and look at how price respects the consequent encroachment of that. And then we finally trade up higher one more time, doing a fast wick below that 3 p.m. opening price, not even reaching the consequent encroachment, and then finally making our way higher. Something else to notice, how remember, we could treat wicks as gap depending on where they are. Again, if we're looking for bullish price action, I don't want to see the consequent encroachment of this BISI get traded into. Look at how the bodies respect this fair value gap here, which is technically a wick. But in this case, we're going to be treating it as a fair value gap. All in all, this final hour macro was really clean, as we saw, a lot of speed, which was expected because all this downward movement was a low resistance liquidity environment. And here we are on the dollar index on the daily chart. I mentioned in a previous review that I was looking at this being a new day opening gap that I wanted to see price respect, and we're going to be targeting this daily sell side liquidity down here. So I was going in really mainly bearish for the whole entire day for dollar. And in particular to the ICT silver bullet model, we had these equal highs up here as an easy draw. It was a little choppy going in, but we did see DXY go down, which is good because remember, we want to see Japanese yen go up. We see DXY make it to the midnight opening because remember, we were also in a deep discount for dollar. And then for that final hour session macro that we were talking about earlier as well, we see price display slower with a bearish breaker here and a fair value gap as well. So you have a multi-PD array analysis really supporting the idea of bearish prices on dollar, which gives you more confidence going in for a long on Japanese yen. Something else to notice, how we also have equal lows. So this would have been really the first main draw that I'd be looking for if I took this short here, supporting that long frame idea that we had on Japanese yen dollar. And again, we could also take sell stops below this low and this low. So again, very, very clean price action for DXY, leading into that last final hour macro as well. So all in all, it was a classic Monday. You're not going to get the greatest price action, like I said before. On these days, you just want to be patient, tape read. That's what I usually do on Mondays. I don't really press any buttons. I just like to watch the market, study, and really journal because again, the market is just opening back up. And again, if you really do want to trade, just trade the currencies. They're going to be a lot cleaner than the US equity indexes. So if you guys found this market review insightful, please be sure to comment down below. The Discord is also going to be in the description. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.